Howdy, Posse hopefuls. My name is Zoe Blackburn. I'm a class of 2025 high school graduate and a Texas A&M Posse Scholar, a part of the National Virtual Program for DFW, and welcome. In today's video, I'll be breaking down the entire round one process from start to finish. So let's get into it. Well, what exactly is Posse Round 1? Well, Posse Round 1 interview is the very first interview process. You may see it listed in your portal as DAP 1. Remember, DAP stands for Dynamic Assessment Process, and it's the extremely unique interview style that Posse utilizes to properly assess applicants. In this interview, you may have 100 other applicants present. Remember, this is a group interview, so you won't have any individual or private time with Posse staff members. In this interview, it is important to focus on teamwork, communication, leadership, and presence. While no other knowledge or outside facts or anything is needed to complete this interview, it is important that you come to this interview ready to engage with other applicants, Posse staff members, and to showcase your thinking, leadership, and teamwork skills, while also offering your very unique life perspective. Now, let's get into the structure of the round one interview. To start off, you'll walk into the room or log onto the Zoom and be greeted by some amazing Posse staff members. They are so excited to meet you and full of so much energy. There'll be upbeat music playing in the background, and you'll walk into an amazing, warm, and welcoming environment. To start things off, you'll have some icebreaker games. It may ask you what's your favorite ice cream, what's your favorite artist, and things like that. But it's important to know that while this is not a part of the actual interview process, you're not being assessed, I cannot stress enough how important it is to participate. Not only does this help calm the nerves and put you into the mindset of doing the interview, but it also helps show Posse staff members who you are. Show them your face, maybe even introduce yourself. But moving on, after this icebreaker period, you will move on into the official interview round. You'll be split up into a group of 5 to 8 applicants. Keep in mind that as the interview progresses, these groups may be split up at the discretion of Posse staff. These group challenges and activities that you will do with your group will highlight problem solving, critical thinking, and teamwork. As you go along, Posse staff members will be viewing or observing you. They will not interact with you. They will not talk to you. They will simply be watching you the entire time while taking notes to see how exactly do you think? How exactly do you move? How do you interact with other people who may not think like you? So let's get into some of the games or activities or presentations that they play. Now, keep in mind, this will vary depending on who you are and what area and who you get and what day. It will not be all the same, but these activities follow the same concept. So the first one, which is the first one that I played during my interview, is the Stranded Island game. The scenario is that you and your Posse interview group is on a stranded island, and Posse staff will give you a list of items that you have. You and your group have to choose 5 items from that list that you would have on the stranded island, and then you have to present why you and your group chose those 5 items. It seems like a lot, but it's actually really simple. And keep in mind that all of these are timed, so you don't have an X affinity amount of time to get these done. I believe that this was maybe 10 to 20 minutes. It wasn't super long, but I do stress that as you are working through these activities with your group, that you be mindful of how much time you're spending, because not only are you having to work with your group and pick out these items, you also have to craft a presentation in the midst of your group while completing this activity. The next one, which I think a lot of us have done before, is the marshmallow tower or the paper tower, which the paper tower is essentially how high can you build a paper tower out of paper alone. And then typically the marshmallow tower is, you have some spaghetti sticks and you have to make a strong enough tower out of the spaghetti sticks in order to balance the marshmallow on top. And another activity that we did was to facilitate a discussion activity. So how this works is you will receive a topic. You personally, as an applicant, will receive a topic, typically political or social issue in today's world. And you will have to facilitate a discussion about that topic, different opinions and different ideas and different beliefs or stories or backgrounds on this specific issue. And so your job as the facilitator is to keep the discussion moving and to make sure that everyone has the time to voice their opinions in a respectful manner, and that everyone has a time to actually speak, because this also, just like all the activities, are timed, so you don't have the entire world to talk. I believe that when I did this, I only had 5 minutes to facilitate a discussion with about 6 people. So time disappears really quickly, especially when people are trying to talk and get their ideas out and show the people, the Posse staff members that are assessing them, that they can, critically think. So just keep in mind that time moves quickly around here. And then finally, you will have your essay or short writing sample. I've heard conflicting things. Some people have short writing samples. Some people have essays. Your essay may be 45 minutes to an hour in order to write, or your short writing sample may be 15 minutes to 30 minutes in order to write. Now, these topics may seem very simple, like any other academic paper. However, Posse does not want another boring academic paper. Yes, they want you to be grammatically correct. Yes, they want you to have great essay structure, but they don't want another boring academic essay to read. So, why don't I just share mine? So I'm paraphrasing in all of this because this was almost a year ago now when I did this interview process. So I'm paraphrasing my topic and what I wrote. So for me, my topic was name one social or political issue you see in society today. The title of my essay was My Sunday Ritual and the Loss of the American Family. And to give some context about this, I talked about how my family gets together every Sunday for dinner, and how a lot of times American families, as we're evolving, aren't getting together as much. We're not hanging out as much. And so I talked about how the American family is slowly falling apart. And so in this, not only was I able to answer the topic and get my point across, I was also able to showcase some personal experience. And yeah, I think I had a catchy title as well. And it made people be like, ooh, what is this essay about? So I definitely stress bringing some personal experience into the essay, making it creative without it sounding crazy, because there's a fine line between creative and just downright craziness. So I implore you to not cross that line. Be creative, bring your personal experience, have a fun, creative title. Just don't cross that line and get too crazy with it. But the last thing that I want to touch on is that, yes, this is a very long interview, okay? This is 3 to 4 hours more, if that. But Posse has done this for a long time. They know how long it is. They're tired as well. But do know that you do have breaks. They'll be about 10 minutes each, okay? And you'll have some break time to just sit down and chill out. I stress to bring your snacks and to bring your water. For my snacks, I would say don't do too much sugar, just because that will take your energy. About halfway through the interview, you will have a break. And I promise you that if you take that sugary snack, you will crash in the middle of the interview. So do not have a ton of sugary snacks. Bring a granola bar, bring some trail mix. Have something that has a little bit of sugar, a little bit of carbohydrates for energy, but don't just bring the downright sugar, because you will crash. I have seen it happen before. So yes, don't stress. You will be tired, but you will have breaks throughout the interview. All right, so we now know what Posse round 1 is. Now we know what the structure of the interview looks like, but what about getting ready? What about preparing? What are the things that I wish I knew before going into this interview? Well, to start off, I have to say, show up on time. Showing up on time is the best way to show someone that you're serious about something. Showing up on time. I recommend maybe 5 to 15 minutes early, just depending on how it is. Keep in mind, you also have 100 other applicants that have to check in and have to get situated, especially if you're in person. It may be a little bit easier if you're online on Zoom, but if you are in person, it's going to be hard. It's going to be crowded. So get there on time. Next, dress presentably. Dress how you want to be perceived. Don't walk in there looking like a loser. Like I said in my Q&A and my intro video on how to be a Posse scholar, business casual is the safest bet. Business casual all the way. If you're like, I don't know what to wear, I don't want to be too fancy, but I don't want to be too comfortable, business casual is the best way to go. Okay? Next, bring a notebook. Bring a notebook. I am telling you, even though it's not required or anything, to me, bringing a notebook is the best thing to do. Whenever we would do our presentations, or even the Stranded Island game, I would write things down and take notes, or help structure our presentations where we would present to the Posse staff members in my notebook. And that also showcases to Posse staff members how serious you are, how dang, this dude is prepared, this girl is prepared, she's ready to go. Okay, and it's the best thing. Bring a notebook, even if you don't write anything, just bring it, because you never know. Next, have open body language. I cannot stress this enough. I get that you're nervous. I get that you're holy crap, this is a big opportunity. Yes, it is natural to be nervous. It is natural to be stressed. But if you close yourself off and you make yourself unapproachable by hiding in a corner, having your arms crossed, that's suspicious. And while it may be your nerves, it may come across as, oh, she doesn't want to be here. Oh, something's wrong with her. And that's why I say, have open body language all the time. Never close yourself off physically. Next, I would say, is to practice speaking and to practice your responses. So the best way that I practice my speaking is by reading a book out loud. Okay, this is the best way to practice your speaking. Read a book out loud. Hear yourself talk. A lot of the times, the reason why we struggle when we speak and when we talk is because we've never actually heard our voices. When we talk in conversations, it's like a quick back and forth exchange, and okay, But when we present, we're like, oh my gosh, it's my voice. So yes, when you present to the Posse staff members, when it's only you talking, it may be a little bit shocking. So hear your voice, like hear yourself talk. And so when you read the book out loud with so much confidence. Even if you're nervous, even if you don't understand words, read that word that you don't know with so much confidence. No one can tell that you did not know that word. Okay? And if you mess up, don't stop reading. Keep going. Improvise if you need to, okay? And like I said, practice your responses. The best thing that I did personally is to write down my responses in a notebook. I still remember sitting in the waiting room on the Zoom in the round 1 interview, just sort of writing up my responses. Yes, it's a group style interview, so they won't be asking you, oh, tell me about yourself. But just getting out your voice and getting out what you're going to say. If problems come up, if something is asked at you, practicing your responses is so important, because I promise you, you will have brain fog. You may forget your name. It happens. And it's not saying that you're horrible, but sometimes our nerves just get so bad that it happens. So write out your responses, because you may say, oh yeah, I'm good. Like I'm a good public speaker. But the moment you get in a stressful situation and your brain blanks and you don't know what to say, write it down. You can't ever be too careful when it comes to this Posse process, because all it takes is one wrong move, and that's it. So don't let your one wrong move be a preventable mistake. And the next, I have introduce yourself confidently. This goes back into the public speaking, but introduce yourself confidently. I promise you, Posse loves a confident person, loves a person who is so sure of themselves. Introduce yourself confidently. Like, even if you are dying and sweating and having the worst stomach ache from your nerves, have confidence. Say, yeah, like, my name is Zoe. I'm from Dallas, Texas. That's who I am. Nice to meet you too. And just have that confidence. I promise you, having that confidence takes you to another level. So have confidence and introduce yourself confidently if they ask you your name or who you are or where you're from or something like that. Next, this is my pet peeve. This is my pet peeve right here. Don't dominate, but don't disappear. And I cannot stress this enough. For the don't dominate. Don't take control of the situation. Okay? If you're like me, you're the firstborn daughter, and you're the oldest sibling, and you get stuff done, and you're usually in charge, and you are the one who's in control. Okay, great. Leave that at home. Don't dominate. Don't take control. I will never forget, there was this girl in my round 1 interview, and she wanted to control everything. What we said, what we did, the items off the stranded island list that we chose. I was like, oh my goodness, this is insane. I cannot speak. I cannot get my opinion out. And I don't know what happened to her, but I've met all the other DFW posses, and she was not there. So, I don't know. But on the other side of that, don't disappear. Okay, when it comes time for Posse to sit down and make their decisions on who moves on to round 2, and they look at your name and your number, and they're like, I don't know this girl. I don't really have notes on her. She just didn't really do anything. I mean, yeah, she talked. Yes, she presented. But that was kind of it. So don't dominate the conversations, and especially if you're like me, you're the oldest child and you're the firstborn daughter and you're like in control and get stuff done. I get that. It's hard to not be in control, but back off just a little bit, okay? And if you're that introvert, if you're that middle child who kind of just disappears, bring yourself out more. Show them who you are, okay? I promise you, don't think you have nothing to offer, because trust me, you do. And then next, listen actively and support others. Okay, always support others, always cheer them on, and listen actively. So I'm just going to give an example. Let's say during the facilitate a discussion person, someone is speaking before you, and they say something that's so similar to your response. When it is your turn, do not say, oh, and to add on to what so-and-so was saying, oh, and to piggyback off of that. Don't. Talk your own opinion, okay? If it's the same opinion, if you are saying the same thing as the person before you, reword it, reformat it, but never say, oh, and like so-and-so was saying, oh, and to piggyback off of that, because it makes you just seem like you're using their opinion, even if y'all have the same opinion, okay? What you can say is that after you've reworded everything, you can say, and just like so-and-so was saying, and add on to it, but don't start with, oh, and to piggyback off of what so-and-so was saying. If it's the same opinion and y'all thought the same thing, that's okay. Just reformat it, but never start off of someone else's opinion. Start off of your own, and then maybe add on someone else's opinion. And it shows that you're able to have your own opinion, but you're also able to listen to other people and their experiences and what they're going through and compare it to your own, which is great group skills, which is great listening skills, which is great communication skills, which is great teamwork skills, which is great presence skills. I'm telling you, these small little things add up. It's what Posse notices. It's those little moments that they see you listening to others, supporting others, and bringing that into your own experience. They're like, wow, this girl really listens. This girl really pays attention to what others are going through. And then next, be you. Posse can see through the fakeness, unless you are a sociopath or a psychopath who is so good at manipulating people, or even a narcissist. Posse, 9 times out of 10, can see when someone is faking, can see when someone is putting on a mask. So, do not do that. Be yourself. And you'll hear it all the time. And you'll think, yeah. And you'll think it's so corny. But then when the time comes, you act like someone else. You put on a mask. You put on a different persona. And then you're like, I'm not really being myself. Well, guess what? Posse can see that. Posse can sniff the fakes and the frauds and realize who's being true and genuine and who's not. Don't do that. Do not look at other students, how they act, what they're wearing, none of that. Be you. Don't think that you don't have enough to offer, because I am telling you that you just putting forth yourself and who you are naturally is so much to them. So I cannot stress this enough. Be you. Posse can see when you're being fake. Okay? Don't do it. Next, and lastly, keep smiling. Stay engaged. It's a mind game. In my opinion, of course. Okay? In my opinion, it's a mind game. Okay? I consider round 1 a mind game. because you have 4 hours of intense, just intense. Like, you have to grind. Those 10-minute breaks, oh, they seem real short and real tiny. Okay, so you have got to stay engaged. You have got to stay locked in, because when Posse smells that weakness, smells that, oh, she really doesn't want to be here, oh, she's getting tired, she isn't really interacting as much, she really isn't, I'm telling you, it's not a mind game. It's a great experience, I promise you. But in my head, in your head, you need to treat this like a 4-hour marathon, like a 4-hour mind game. You having so much energy and sprinting at the beginning and then blacking out at the end, it's not going to go well for you. Okay, it's a marathon. It is a mind game. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep going. You have to pace yourself out. You can't give 1,000% in the beginning, because by that halfway mark in the interview, you're done. You're done. You've given 1,000% in the beginning, and I promise you, that halfway break, that halfway mark, when they're like, okay, 10-minute break, guys, you will be spent. You will be done. You will be ready to go home so fast. But guess what? There's more activities. There's more presentations. There's an essay or a short writing sample that you have to do after that. So it's a marathon. It's a mind game. You have to be consistent. You have to balance. You have to pace yourself as you're going. Yes, you're going to want to show yourself, but you can't give 1,000% at the beginning, because if you give 1,000% at the beginning, you're going to be tired and you're going to be ready to go home by the midway mark. So take it easy, okay? Congratulations. You finished your round 1 interview. But what happens now? So, as I said in my earlier videos, give Posse 3 to 6 weeks to make their decisions. You are not the only round 1 interview. There were over 14,000 applications last year. There are a lot of round 1 interviews to go through, okay? So be patient. I know it's hard to wait. Trust me, I have been there. I was one of those early August interviews, and round 1 goes all the way into September. Okay, so the wait is real. But even though it's like, oh, it's been so long and I don't know, I feel like the longer I wait, my chances get smaller and smaller. Don't think like that. It's not a no until it's a no. Okay, it's not a no until you get a no. So there's always a chance until it's a no. But Posse will reach out via email whether or not you have moved on to round 2, or if unfortunately your Posse process ends there. If you do not move on to round 2, do not take it personally. Please, please, please do not tie your self-worth to Posse. Do not think that you're any less of a person. Do not think that you're any less of a student. Do not think that you're any less of anything because you did not move on. I had a friend, same school. She went through the Posse process with me, and she didn't move on. She didn't make it to round 3. Okay, but guess what? She still went to A&M. And she still got almost a full ride, plus thousands of other scholarships. So I'm telling you, like, please, it's so easy to tie your worth to something like this, but I'm telling you, don't. It does not mean that you are not going to go to college. It does not mean that you are not going to be successful. It does not mean that you're not going to have other scholarships. Don't. I'm telling you, please do not tie your self-worth to Posse. Even as a scholar now, like, I'm grateful for this opportunity, super happy that I made it, but It's just a scholarship. There will be more out there for you, I promise you, and it is not the end of the world. But let's say that congratulations, you move on to round 2. Keep in mind, as I said in my program overview, that this is a personal one-on-one interview. It will be just you and a Posse staff member. Now, I will have a round 2 video coming out. I know I have heard your cries. I have heard people saying, my round 1s are soon, my round 1s are next week, my round 1s are soon, and you still haven't dropped the round 1 video yet. Y'all, I am coming. I am so sorry. I am in the midst of vacation. I'm in the midst of planning a party. I'm in the midst of trying to get settled for college and move in and all of these big things, while also recording and having businesses and things like that. So I know that it's a lot. Okay. I know that it's tough waiting and waiting and waiting for me to drop an interview video, but it is coming. Give me a week to drop the round 2 interview. I promise you I won't let you down. I'm gonna try to have all the rounds up before I leave for college, but if not, you will see a wonderful video from the campus of Texas A&M University. So stay tuned for that. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. The next video, we will break down round 2 interview from start to finish. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you'd like to schedule a free prep session with me, fill out the link in the description below. If you'd like to connect or just reach out or say hi and see what I'm doing, feel free to follow me on Instagram at IamZoeGirl_. And if you have anything else you want to discuss, feel free to email me. I'm always open for a good email chat. And you can do that at IamZoeGirl@gmail.com. Remember, you got this, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks and gig 'em.